And we are rolling and going free. How is everybody on this Thursday night? Does it sound right? Does the mic sound right? Does the image look right? Are we live on Twitter as well? Could somebody check that out for me and see? We're supposed to be broadcasting successfully. Yes, it says successful, but okay, I see it now. A Twitter space, I guess. That's what this is called, a Twitter space. Well, we've been broadcasting to Twitter for some time now. But I just wanted to check and make sure that it was working, and indeed it is. Great to have you all with us. Everything is normal here. You can ask your questions, make your comments. Make sure you tag me as No White Guilt across the different platforms. And wonderful to see everybody on all of the different platforms tonight. You may also financially gift, as always, at the normal locations. Entropy should be up and working. And looks like the great Kate has just joined us backstage. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her forward right now. How are you doing, young lady? You are muted at the moment. There you go. Oh, now I still can't. You went muted again.
Okay. What about now?
Now I can hear you. Everybody let me know if she's loud enough or about the same as me or not, and I can make some adjustments. So how's everything, young lady?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about some psychopathic anti-whites on Twitter that we seem to run into all of the time. I mean, just today, I had several encounters. It seems I made this tweet today about how white men are targeted, and it's really a curse in the modern West to be a white man. And as I expected, it brought guys out of the woodwork who are insecure, and they wanted to immediately say, "Well, what are you talking about? I'm not victimized. I'm just fine. I'm dominating the whatever." And of course, it ends up, it really demonstrates the insecurity when you can't say that you're victimized and that your people are victimized. When you can't say that, you can't take steps to ameliorate or to correct those issues. And so when
Exactly.
those folks, when they pipe up, we have to carefully deal with it, because it really is a bravado issue. But yeah, we have just today, we've been having, oh no, that was it. Oh yeah, it was here on Twitter. There was the woman over on YouTube under the thread of my most recent
Oh,
video
yeah.
until this one. What's going on with that woman? Have you looked back at any of her comments?
I
She
have
seems to
not.
follow me around, yeah?
She does. She's been on several of your videos underneath leaving comments, and they're all negative, and which is fascinating to me. Why? Why do you keep watching and commenting if you feel the person is not good? I mean, she has nothing positive to say.
No, I'm looking for it right now. Some of her, because we did have a little back and forth. God, there's so much going on in just the span of today, with news coming out, of course, about Pfizer, and they're all golden and wonderful, and they don't do anything wrong. But they did have somebody who is an important member, a director, in fact, over at Pfizer, who made the claim to somebody working for Project Veritas that this director made the claim that they were engineering COVID. And that's crazy. He must not be telling the truth. So I guess we'll have to wait for the news to come out. All right. I think I am. Where is? Oh yes, her name is Women Don't Need Men. Now remember, folks, don't harass any of these people. Don't bother any of these people. Don't go after them. Don't nothing. We want them to have peaceful, wonderful lives. The great Elaine Sabatino says hello. Hello, dear lady.
I
Wonderful
would
people.
just like to say that I think that names like that, um, what she's really saying is, I can't get a man. Because that's the kind of thing that,
Yes.
like, when she was little, you could see, like, the clubhouse with, like, the "No boys allowed" sign or whatever. Like,
Yes.
boys are icky, they're yucky. And now that
Yes.
she's all grown up, she just can't get a man, and that's why she says she doesn't need a man.
Yes. It's so true. So many of these. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. There's just no guy that would have them. So it's a cope. It's a massive cope for these females. Some of them are just physically revolting. Other ones are mentally, spiritually revolting, which ends up, of course, coming through on the surface. But it's so true. They can't get a man. So her name really should be I Can't Get a Man rather than Women Don't Need Men.
It's like quitting before you get fired.
And quitting before you get fired. Yeah, well, I'm sure she's run off plenty of men. And so now she's just gotten to the point where she's like, all right, not going to even try anymore. I'm just going to say that men are wretched, don't need one. I'm going to go out and do my own thing. Every female that I've come across that says that sort of thing is horrendous in their appearance. They're just monsters. I've never met one that was attractive saying that she didn't need a man. Always
Well, that's
ugly.
too bad because I think this one has a thing for you.
Oh,
Because, like,
well,
why
great.
else? Yeah, why else would you continue to watch somebody and try to pick a fight with them if you didn't have like a thing for them? You know, like what
Yeah.
would be the point?
Yeah, she comes after me, quoting me, where I say, if you are female or non-white, at some point during the Crowder review, and then she responds to me saying that you don't know that females are, all caps, not a minority? What? You have a problem with females? She asks. Do you want war? Is that it? Do you want war? Because I'm ready to go to war. I packed on 325 pounds to roll over you. This is the Pussycat Panzer Division, and we're gonna just roll on over the guys out there in the world. I packed on all this weight just for war with you. Serious question, she said. Serious question. What do you want? And
See,
then
he
serious
wants to
question. What
know
do you
what
want?
you want.
She wants to know what I want. She wants to know how can I satisfy you, Jason? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can do? I don't know. What could she do in that shape and those proportion? If there's a dam upstream from me, could you go fill the void that might open in it? What could it be? Then she says, do I want a gay utopia? Do I want a gay utopia? Actually, yes, the word means happy. So let's have one of those. Let's have a happy utopia. Do you want a gay utopia? Do you want a man over 350 pound, 5'2" me? Is that what you want, Jason? So it looks like History and Truth came in and said, your name says it all. Men and women are meant to complement each other. The weaponization of the female against the man in Western civilization is all but too obvious. After all, Western civilization is built on the vigor of men, not on the woman. And it's that simple. And then she came back. Now, does she talk to me? Oh, yes. This is where you told me where she really came after me. She's really angry because she's been doing all she could to goad me into responding and talking to her. And it hasn't happened. And she wrote to History and Truth, can you be more re-darted? Women have been oppressed. You till the 20th century. Why do I need to tell you this? But you are probably Jason's fake account. She wishes. I was asking a serious question, Jason. Jason, but obviously I was asking a serious question, Jason. So she says, you're probably Jason. So then she just goes ahead and decides she will address. This is what she would like History and Truth to be me. I was asking a serious question, Jason, but obviously you are just a piece of shit, is what she says. She calls me a piece of shit. So she says, I'm warning you. I could eat you up like a sandwich. She says, I'm warning you, burn that anti-woman shit out of your system. So looks like History and Truth came back. I didn't even see this. Being a housewife is oppression to you? History and Truth asks. Men had to work so that the roads you drive on to work to, and the buildings you drive past had to be built. No, you have simply been sold a lie from the anti-white feminists in order to attack Western civilization by undermining it with your misperceptions of those gender roles that have existed throughout time. And then the great Kate decided she was going to respond to this "I can't get a man" woman and said, wow, you keep posting under Jason's content. So that means for all your fake and overdone, insane, quote, "I'm so offended," close quote, pearl clutching, you keep wanting to watch him. She's watching me, Kate. Tell me you're totally obsessed with Jason without telling me you're obsessed with Jason. And then a bunch of emojis. So then Kate made a suggestion to me. So I decided to write her back. And I tagged her with the name she chose, even though we know that it means "I can't get a man." And I wrote, "Don't worry, hon. I'll let you know as soon as I start my OnlyFans." And she has not responded yet. She's probably...
Yeah, she's disappointed. She's waiting.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. She's like, is he serious? Is he really gonna start an OnlyFans and he's gonna tell me about it? She's like, got her wallet open and her credit card out. This is the big break I've been waiting for. She's got like her chitlins and whatever other bags, Doritos and Haagen-Dazs and, oh God, tacos. She's ready to sit back in front of the monitor and watch me on OnlyFans. We'll see if she comes back. I don't know. She keeps returning. So there's a thing. I think you're right.
There's a thing.
There's definitely a thing there. And there have been more than a few that have been haters that potentially were secret wannabe lovers.
I don't know. It's not very secret if you keep harassing someone in public on a public forum. I mean, they can do better. Hashtag do better.
Hashtag she needs to learn a better way to try to pick up a guy. This really is not gonna work. But I have had these anti-white females where I have argued with them, and the different places where I've argued with them, put them in their place, and then could see how they were aroused. And trying then to, God, I can remember one just came to mind. There was one actually at the gym. I know you were just at the gym having a workout.
I was.
And this was years ago. There was one at the gym, and we got into an argument. It was a normal conversation at first, and then it kind of escalated because I stand up for white people and I fight against anti-whiteism. And she started making these anti-white points. I started crushing her. And she actually got closer, physically, like in space, got closer to me, and clearly was aroused, and then was inquiring about whether or not I wanted to go out and all of this sort of business. And I was like, we are in different universes. That's not going to happen. That's not going to. But it was the instincts that were coming through at that point. Looks like we have Promethean Promulgation here. Franklin's here. Stephanie Love's here. Cool Papa J Magic. Artificer. Nancy Drew. K-Max. Hyperborean Jim. A lot of champs are here. Great to see you all. I don't think... What was that other one on today, the back and forth? I think that was that might have been a female. Let's check it out. I can't tell. So don't know if that's a female or retweeting me. Well, isn't that interesting? So this was one that was arguing with me. Might be another one of these anti-white females that are secret love with the white men who will stand up for themselves. Guys, don't fall for it though. Those kind of folks, those kind of girls are. Imagine how far you would have to bring them. How many of these, and you have to continually keep them on the, like on the edge. Like, I'm gonna walk away if you keep acting crazy. Nah, that'd be the only way to keep like igniting their instincts. Soon as their instincts would cool down a little bit, that poison would come back. You'd have that shrew and all these like Medusa snakes come out of the tops of their heads. That's why they were burned at the stake. Kate knows. Ladies like
So
that.
you had an interaction today on Twitter.
Yeah, it was a brief back and forth with, I don't know that this is female. Maybe it is, but I don't know. With someone saying, let's see if I can find it. Oh, I had to go too far there. Yeah, maybe I'll find it while we're chatting. I think it's under this one. Tweet so many times a day. If you're on Twitter, make sure you follow me, follow Kate, and make sure you share everything that we tweet, because that's a great way to reach a lot of these folks out there who are implicitly white sympathetic. They can hear words of love that are fair to everyone, and they can pick those things up and adopt them. It's a wonderful thing. Go figure. Nature Moon says, yeah, women tend to be attracted to BPE. Oh, they're big time attracted to BPE. Big time. It's been my experience over the years. Even when they're anti-white. But you can just ask Kate, but don't. The effects of profound BPE in the world. So we have a shrew to talk about today, don't we? And we have an article
We sure do.
to talk about too. So we'll bring up this shrew. She is the unhinged anti-white Nikki. Nikki. And you had back and forth with her, and I did as well, didn't I?
You did a little bit, and I had noticed she was on all of your, so I think this might be like another one of, potential love interests for you, because she was on every single one of your tweets for a long time. Like it was like several days. She had left just like repeatedly left comments about what was like, I am a proud anti-white, she would say.
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
if that's your definition of anti-white, then I am anti-white. I mean, just like really like goading you, wanting you to respond, and you had not. So it wasn't until, I guess, she left a comment under one of maybe Yiz's tweets, because she had a back and forth with Yiz too, and then left a comment under one of my tweets, and that's when I had a run-in with her. So yeah, she's a fascinating person.
Well, let's go ahead and bring up the conversation. I think we have slide 1, and here we go. Is that the first one? Is that correct? Can you see it on your screen?
Oh, yes, sir, that's correct. That's the first one. And this is in response to a tweet that I had made about whites being victimized, and she was responding with, whites are not victimized. And then she told me I was a white supremacist freak who's
Oh, God.
overly emotional and has a victim mentality. And
What is
again,
it?
she said, according to your definition, I am anti-white and proud.
Wow. Well, and this is the thing, folks, that, I mean, we're going to begin. Let me just say, don't go after these people. Don't vex them. I blocked her once I went a couple rounds demonstrating how anti-white she is. And when you come upon somebody who's really anti-white, then just block them and move on. It's like coming upon somebody who is one of these fixators. Just block them and move on. Move on to normal people. There's so many crazy people in the world. Don't waste time on them. But don't vex her. Don't go after her. What are you gonna say?
I was going to say, I recommend taking screenshots first because
Oh
it's so
yeah.
much fun to look back and laugh.
Yeah, we do have Kate and I have some funny conversations about these people, especially these lusting anti-whites who just want to get with yours truly because they don't have they've never had a man act like a man around them before. They have all of these like these little gimps who just kiss up to them, and that's obviously genetically not what a woman desires. But yeah, she says whites are not victimized. LMFAO. Yeah, white supremacist, a freak who is overly emotional, unlike her, and has a victim mentality, unlike she does. But she got into a conversation with me where she said, "Oh, yeah, I have enslaved all of us, and you raped Africa." Whatever. Victim mentality. Remember, folks, there's a big difference between being victimized and having a victim mentality. Victimized is what we are, and we point out the ways that we're victimized. Victim mentality, there's nothing to actually point to. There's no substance of victimization, and the purpose of it is to try to get people to surrender things: money, sex, prestige, power, etc. Big difference. Shut up and cope. According to your definition, I am anti-white and proud. Could you imagine saying that? I am anti-white and proud. That's what you want them saying. That's a victory. That's a victory when you get them saying that. I'm anti-white and proud. That's probably her actual voice. No, that is her actual voice. So this was in response to, okay, let's do this. Here we go. There we go. Now slide number 2. There's your response, I guess. Go ahead.
So my response was, because she was laughing, and I said, you know what's funnier and more pathetic? You, as you follow all of us that you claim to hate, but you're obviously obsessed with us. You spend all your time commenting on our tweets. LOL, I enjoy living in your anti-white head, rent-free 24/7.
Kate is brutal. Brutal to these bitches. Male or female, she's brutal. Let me burn you down. So that she probably didn't like that.
No, not really.
We have her, I guess that's her responses next. Victorian Time Travelers here. He says, something I said to Yiz, quote, arguing with anti-whites over the internet feels like playing with a game with very unfair rules against someone you don't mind humiliating. Yeah, definitely humiliate them and then move on. Highlander is here, says, I really enjoyed your reaction to TikTok the other day. Oh, the videos, right? On that Charlie Jones video. What are we doing to white people? We know what he's doing to one white guy. He's not responding to one white guy out there. We know that. That's what we're doing to white people. But hey, that's, that's his thing. Might be intimidated. Probably thinks that we're like the namers, even though I tried to tell him that we're not. But that's what ends up happening. You run off all the normal people, even the non-white normal people. So, all right. Tyler is here. Hello to you. Let's move on to our next slide from this. Nikki. All right. What happens here? Tell us what happens.
Oh, so then she responded with letting me know that she felt that I called, and she's tagging you. And this is why I think that she really is most interested in you, because she had commented under all of your stuff, but I don't think you had really responded much to her. So what she was really hoping for was you to respond. So she was responding to me and my tweet, but if you'll notice there, she was also tagging you. And so she said, you
Yes.
call everything you dislike anti-white. You are mentally ill with a victim complex. Okay, I am mentally ill because I'm on my account, just doing my own thing. And this insane individual feels the need to follow people that she hates to comment on their stuff. That to me, it just has a tinge of mental unrest to it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Again, what can we call this anti-white female strategy of trying to hook up with the proud but moral and ethical actual man of the West? Because there's some kind of weird like anti-strategy. I'm going to come and piss him off. I want to get him fired up. I want to have him put me in my place, and then maybe he'll just take me away from this place, pin me to the wall, and do horrible things that are wonderful to me. Maybe, this strategy is it's like the anti-hookup strategy.
Hmm.
We
Well,
need to
isn't
keep.
that the way it is when you're little, though? Don't kids tease each
Yes,
other if they like each other?
yes, that is. So really, they've never matured. They're just infants in adult bodies. They're just children and adolescents in adult bodies. They want to come up and she's poking me. She's like, "Yeah, I don't like you. I don't like you. Please take me on the table. I don't like you. Please up against the wall. I don't like you. I'm anti-white. Now what are you going to do? Please do something." I'm proudly, and you got a victim complex. My blouse is tearaway. Sure. No, thank you.
I mean, because that's how you know. Because, like, who says they are proud of it? I have argued with a lot of people in like my 2 months that I've had a public Twitter account, and I've honestly never had anyone say that they were proudly anti-white, even when they were blatantly anti-white. They'll still deny it because they know how bad it looks. But this girl wanted to be so outrageous to you that she's like, oh yeah, not only am I anti-white, I'm proud of it.
I'm
What are you
proud of
going to do about it?
it. Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do? Could you maybe describe it to me in details? Fine details, what you're going to do? Does it involve like a really steamy room? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to strike that powerful girl pose with the elbow out. Go ahead and tell me what you're going to do to me. I dare you. I can be found at this time and at these locations. You got everything you dislike anti-white. You're mentally ill. All right. Yeah, went a couple rounds with her. I guess maybe it was after this. And because she was trying so hard, I'd been ignoring her. And I went a couple rounds with her. And I was just like, okay, thank you. You're anti-white. Have a good day. And then she tried to say the whole slavery thing, I think, and something else. Maybe I'll have to unban her to see exactly what she said to me. And I was like, okay, good for you. Bye-bye now. But
You actually don't have to unban people to see what they say.
really?
Twitter gives you the option. It'll say, this is from an account you banned. Would you like to view it? And a lot of times I'm like, well, yeah, let me see what they said. Because, I'm a girl, we want to know.
Let me see. Let me see. And I was just like done. I thought this person is really screwed up. All right. So she says, everything you dislike is anti-white, mentally ill. All right. So then your response.
Oh, I said, says the mentally ill person with no friends and no life who literally
Oh,
begs to
burn,
argue with
burn.
strangers on Twitter. And then I said, okay, keep talking for your 19 followers.
Ooh, oh, that burns. That burns females. Oh no, what was the one that I was saying? Was it this one? Who was the one that I was just really? No, that was a different woman altogether. We need to try to keep track of all these anti-white women that keep trying to come on to me. I got more anti-white women trying to get with me in my life ever than normal women. These
So
anti-whites are...
you had someone else today try to
No, who
hook
was
up
the
with?
woman that I said that she was? That was day before yesterday, wasn't it? The
Oh,
woman I
okay.
said that she was, I was pointing out her age, talked about her wrinkles to burn her
Oh,
down in
that
response.
was on YouTube as well. That
Yeah,
was
then she was like, she's like, "Well,
Ella
you
the
have gray hair."
Umbrella. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. She's like, "Well, you have gray hair." Okay. Goodbye. That's another one. All right. White Student Transmissions here. Great to see you. Cindy Ben is here. Axis Mundi. Art Acrobats. Great to see you all. Hyperborean says, what he's saying? Hello to everybody. Awesome rebuttal. Yeah, you call everything anti-white. Yeah, so you need to stop being anti-white. So this is, Kate, you really dug under her skin really good. Says the mentally ill person with no friends. Girls, guys, listen, girls really like it when you point out that they have no friends. They really like when you point out they have no friends and you talk about their looks. And no life. Ooh, that was a big burn on her. Begs to argue with strangers on Twitter. Keep talking for your 19. Who is following her? Does she have 19 accounts?
She must.
Or 20
She's got
accounts, I guess.
19 personalities.
Oh, she probably does. And they all want to get with Jason.
Well, there you go.
Notice how they don't go after the other thought and organizational leaders across the white sympathetic sphere. It's yours
See,
truly that they show up.
there's like 21 people that would be right on your OnlyFans as soon as you opened it.
Well, all
You'd
her
have
personalities.
all of her personalities, and then the other girl that you fought with on YouTube today. So there's 21 right there.
I know. I mean, I'm starting to think about this OnlyFans thing. It would be it would be full, Kate. It would be full of anti-white bitches. And they would then, you know what they would do if they were caught being a follower of mine on OnlyFans? They would be like, "It's research. I hate that motherfucker. I'm just doing research." Says here that you're on 7 days a week, and it's been like 35 hours over the course of this week. I'd like to do research.
It's a lot of research.
I'd like to do a lot of research. Says you spent $3,500.
Well, that's the price you pay for science.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to get down to the core of what makes this evil white man tick. Oh, that's too funny. They would show up. I could be like, I could say, if I was on OnlyFans, I could say, okay, all you anti-white bitches, today it's going to be me in just a pair of tight jeans and a whip. And I'm going to put all you bitches in your places for your naughty beliefs. Every single one of them would be tuned in inches from the screen. All right. Okay, so let's go back. Let's see how she responds to this sick burn that you put on her.
She says, once again, you're wrong.
She typed as she weeps over her phone. I do have friends. Keep tweeting emotional BS. Whoa. So that, I think, was like a total victory. And she's admitting it right there.
That was an admission. Yeah.
That was a total admission. One of these days, folks, it's going to happen where Kate is going to say to one of these bitches, "You just want to get with Jason, don't you?" And the woman's just going to break down and be like, "Yes, okay. That's what can I do? What do I got to do to get a rise out of him?" Time Traveler says, an Ant Nat called me anti-white. I think it was because I said something about yay. It's very nice of him to help spread the lexicon. Very well put. Yeah. Hamilton says, you have a dark side, Jason. Is Biscape here? Hello, if you are. The Highlander is here. Great to see you. Yeah, that's pointing out cats. They would probably be surrounded by their cats as they tune into my OnlyFans. They're starving cats. Although there are white positive people with cats, those are the best cats on planet Earth. Okay, so then you went back at her here.
I did, and I said, LOL, you telling people they are wrong. Wow. And your opinion is valid. Why? No likes, no retweets, and 19 people who give a flip about what you have to say. Yeah, think again.
Oh my God. Holy, this is like for girls, this is like burned down into ashes. She was burnt down to ashes when she read that. She was already reeling after the you have no friends, 19 followers, accounts that are all yours.
And it's true, though. She had no likes or retweets on any of the tweets under your content, which is unusual. Usually, when anti-whites leave a comment under mine, one or two people will give it a heart. She had none. And it's
Yeah.
because her comments were so ridiculous. Like, who's going to like that? Like, I'm proud to be anti-white. I mean, that would be like one of these namer people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm proud to be a Nazi."
Oh yeah.
I mean, nobody's going to like that. It's the same thing. Even the anti-whites look at those kind of like, "I'm proud to be anti-white." And they're like, no thank you." So, yeah,
It has
she
to
had
be
no
something
likes,
else.
no retweets. Yep.
Now, you know what I should do on my nowengfcollectibles.com, where folks, you can get my books with signatures, and there are mugs. And if Crowder can have a mug club, we'll come up with something better. But you can get mugs there. You can get shirts. You can get Eindolens. You can get all kinds of things. But maybe what I need to do is to sell like a life-sized blow-up Jason doll. And then we would get the addresses of all of these anti-white ladies.
Oh, that's true, because they're not very bright. And
No.
honestly, they would want you to have their address.
Oh God, you're right. What was
They
I
would
thinking?
hope you would show up.
They'd be like, "There's a way I can give him my address." They would drop hints all over the place, like, "I never lock my windows."
They would write it in like big block letters so you couldn't miss it
Yeah.
and you wouldn't misread it.
This is my address. The windows are never locked. The back door is always open. I'm in the third bedroom on the left. All right. So here she's burned down. Nikki, who wants to plant anti-white kisses all over Jason. And then, is this you again? Is this in the proper order?
It is, because
Okay.
then I went on. I had more to say.
Oh,
And I
of
said,
course, of course. Kate's like, I'm really gonna. Kate is merciless, folks. Have you ever noticed this on Twitter or on YouTube? When she gets into a battle, she's got this cute little voice and disposition, and then when it comes to conflict, she's like a Rottweiler on steroids with rabies. What did you say here?
I said, I have a job and a life. It's
Ooh.
you that seems to be hunkered down on Twitter, crying and complaining and stalking people all day with your
Oh my
19
God.
followers in 2 years.
Oh.
Laughing face. None of your tweets have any likes or retweets, but that doesn't stop you from giving your irrelevant opinion.
Oh my God. Girls can be ruthless, folks. Kate already had her like on the ground, throat exposed. This is like the verbal equivalent of shit stomping someone. She's unconscious on the ground. She just keeps going at her. Now, some of you, have any of the rest of you had interaction with this female, this Nikki? Because there were a few. There were more than one or two from our community that she went after. But let's see, what else do we have? So she's a bloody mess at this point. All right, here we go. What is it?
And then she responds with, well, obviously, not considering you spend your days pretending to be a victim of anti whiteness. So she was, because I told her she spent her days hunkered down on Twitter. So she's
Right.
like, you spend your days pretending to be a victim.
I actually think I told her that whiteness was anti-white. I may have,
You may have.
but not considering you. So that was pretty lame. She
That
was
was lame.
weak here. She's so weak. She's like, look, I'm just trying to get this strong, dominant white man of the West to come and take me against the wall in my house. And here you are beating me up. All right. Okay, you go after her again here.
And I said, wow, you must have no actual friends.
Oh, God.
Desperate for someone to argue with your pathetic self so you can have some interaction. I said, how sad. I'm sorry, I have to get back to work, so you're going to have to wait around for when I can tweet again.
Oh, no. Oh, no. She's probably like cleaning the litter box right at that moment. The kitty litter out. Probably cleaning the kitty litter out right as she reads that. We do have, I think we have one more here, but then there are a couple more that you couldn't get to send.
I believe so.
Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Montana Kid is here. Great to see you. Matt is here. All right, here we go.
Okay, yeah, that one is the one. And then she responded and she said, you retweet brainless people like Jason.
Ooh.
So here she's bringing you into it
Yes.
without actually looking into it.
Ooh.
And she said, example, when you retweeted this, claiming those protests to have been caused by the anti-white narrative. It wasn't. You
Ooh.
want to be victimized so SOOOO bad. You're as brainless as him.
Ooh.
Love the grammar there. Love the grammar.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, she was most unhappy. I'll just point out really quickly here, this is a person who says that they are proudly anti-white. And in order to speak to us, she just used our concepts. You can thank me, ladies and gentlemen. I figured this out a long time ago. And all of your other thought leaders and organizational leaders in the white sympathetic sphere who've been steering you wrong, implicit and explicit, told you, no, you can't create concept. You got to use their concepts. Got to use their concepts. And I said, you can't do that. Use their terminology. You're in their ideology. And you can't win in their ideology. And look at what she just did. Radical anti-white. So, yeah, you retweet brainless people like Jason. Without even looking at, can you give him my phone number? When you retweeted this, claiming those protests have been caused by the anti-white narrative, it wasn't. Oh, yeah. I like the period. Yeah, outside the quotes and everything. You want to be victimized so bad. She's the one who wants to be victimized so bad. She's the one who wants to have all of her things ripped off and thrown on the kitchen table. Tell me I'm bad, Jason. Tell me I've been bad. There was even a girl in high school that kept coming back to debate me. She was white, anti-white. Kept coming. She's a little heavy, a little chunky, not too much chunk. I mean, she wasn't a bad looking girl. She kept coming back, and we had more than a couple of conversations at the lunch table. She didn't have to come to my table, where I wasn't being mean. I just kept putting her in her place, and she would cry. And then finally, yeah, I found out that she had a thing for me. Crazy.
Of course, because as you said, there were other places that she could have been sitting, right? She
Yeah.
didn't have to come to that table. Just like this girl doesn't have to post on your tweets and the other girl doesn't have to watch your videos. But that girl that fought with you on YouTube today is watching your stuff so closely,
Yeah.
she can quote an exact minute mark for the things that she's offended with.
Oh
Who
yeah.
does that? Who
Who
does
does
that?
that? Who does that when you really like there's no way that I would be on some anti-white witches channel and just watching her all the time and going to war with her on all of her anti-white positions. No way. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be interested. But you're right. Their genetics are motivating them. They see a super intelligent, physically fit man of the West, the kind of men that roamed the earth and everything that tried to conquer us, we conquered. And they say, please take me, white man. But, not going to happen. So, Jason, example, you retweeted this claiming those protests to have caused by anti-white narrative. It wasn't. Video might so bad. You're as brainless as him. Well, now we have two. We have what? Two others or three others, but that you couldn't send. Is that right or wrong? Or how many?
I believe there's 2 more.
Okay. So let me look at the phone. No. Okay, this is what I don't have this to put up, folks. But do you have it, or I can read what you wrote?
Okay,
Or
you
wait,
can read it.
no, this is the one that we looked at already.
Oh, okay. Then
Wait,
it did
I
send
should
because
be
some of
work.
them.
I should be working, but the level.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
is that the response to that?
that is the response to that because what I did is I took a screenshot of this and her other responses because they had come in just rapid fire. So she was really like as soon as I would say something, she was like instant response. So I took screenshots of that and then I said, "You know what? I should be working, but I just couldn't help but tweet this out before I went back to work and I showed people, like I said, the level of like stalking and insanity is really high with this one. Cause I mean, she was just like out of control nuts.
She was out of control now. So do you want me to read what you wrote?
Oh, sure.
Or do you have it in front of you? I'll read it. I got it in front
Okay.
of me right now. I see her. Should I read what she wrote as well?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Let's see.
absolutely.
You claim to hate. What is this now? Oh, no, that was your response. Okay, to her. All right. So then this is you. I mean, honestly, though, when it comes to these anti-white females, and some of these anti-white females are white, some are non-white. And then we have others, like that one, I guess, was it yesterday or whatever, that she was maybe Aunt Nat. We have those every now and again, too, that will decide to try to come on to me. I don't know that this has happened anywhere else in the white sympathetic sphere. But I was going to say, at root, we can't, I mean, we're watching like instinct, and it's their instinct, their loins are trying to push them to do the right thing. They're like, submit to the dominant male, submit to him, be a good female, submit to the dominant male. That's what the genetics are saying. You know how many folks I just pissed off right now? It's good. I love it. Especially these. They're like, what? Be a good female by submitting to the dominant male? Yes, I did say that. Be the good female. But then they have this brainwashing, So, but that desire to submit and to be taken, that's natural. That's healthy. It's the brain that's getting in the way with this programming. So Kate wrote back to Nikki. Maybe we should change her name to Nikki Wants to Get with Jason. Kate writes to Nikki wants to get with Jason. I should be working, but the level of stalking and insanity is high with this one, LOL. Look at all these responses. Sad when you have no friends. So you literally become obsessed with and beg to argue with strangers on Twitter. I will obviously have to block. And I guess it wasn't, I think I saw this one. And that's when I ended up blocking her because
Well,
she
and
was really
I
losing it.
actually, yeah, I tweeted that out separately so that not just to her, not just in the thread, that went out as an actual tweet, which I love to do because even when you block them, you still are showing everyone how ridiculous they are.
Yeah.
And then people will retweet that and comment on it. So then it's like further humiliation for them.
Yeah. 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 You folks follow these tips from the great Kate. She's merciless when it comes to these anti-whites. When they get into the black and white, she's merciless. Girls always know like the wickedest thing to say to a person that can cause them to like their knees to buckle. Guys, we have to punch people for that to happen. All right, let's see. Franklin's here said he saw another ad on Gab today, another No White Guilt ad today on Gab. Yes, sir. They are ads. The ads are out and about to help to wake people up. They need to see, as you know, with any marketing, people need to see something again and again and again, especially something that is so original and is not just another take on the way things are always done, another personality on the way things are always done. So we got to get in front of folks. He says, man, another No White Guilt billboard.org would be so awesome. It would be awesome. Not easy to get a billboard. It's got to be a privately owned and not one of the big companies because the big companies won't do it. Like I just had a banner that I was having made to be sent to a location where it's going to be posted. Just had the company, halfway through production say, whoa, we're not going to be printing your banner. Nothing horrible about the banner at all. Nothing totally offensive or any for the average person at all. Just the company rabidly anti-white. And so they were deciding, no, we're not going to, we're rabidly anti-white here. And we're going to turn you down. But that's okay because I found a different company who's willing to do it. And yeah, who said this about Carlin? Oh, Franklin saying Carlin 2.0. Yes, Boroshenko really wanted yours truly. Do you remember Kate, do you remember how much she talked about my penis?
That was crazy. She did like a
That was
whole show
crazy.
about it.
She did a whole show.
Like she used it to raise money.
She did.
Yeah, it was like whoever would call in with like the best joke about that, then she would go ahead and like I forget what all the rules were, but like they would get like a special prize or something, but they had to donate for her to read their joke.
Yeah.
So she was like getting money off of it. It was insane.
She was getting off from it, sure, for sure. I mean, she was so focused on my genitals. So immediately her mind was like immediately there. Don't worry, Carlin, I understand. You're not the first. Of course, she ended up with some problems. Not with me, thankfully. That wasn't going to happen. Victory is here. The intrigues. We'll have to reveal more and more of these intrigues of the anti-white female hordes who keep trying to get with yours truly, and how it always ends up with being burnt down horribly. God, they get mad though, don't they?
They do.
When
They
they're
get
not going to
salty.
be successful, they get really mad. Now let me see here. We have let me just make sure that nobody has financially gifted so that I won't miss anything. All right, check over here. And we will. Good, not miss anything. Alan is here. Hello. Bianca, hello to you. All right. We have this article. Kate has not seen this article. I wanted to kind of surprise her with it and get a reaction and responses to this. It's this woman, and this is from HuffPost, so you know it's got to be good. Maybe I can put it up on the screen, or should I just read it? They have, the title is, and this, I love this because it says so much about the mentality of a gynocentric society. This, of course, feminism is a subset of anti-whiteism. You go ahead and let feminists try to make their arguments without seating them in anti-whiteism. And what do they have? Nothing whatsoever. Feminism wouldn't have gone anywhere without anti-whiteism. So it truly is another subset. But here she says, in disbelief, sometime in my 50s, I became invisible to men. In your 50s? No, it was before then, honey. Here's what I did. Here's what I didn't expect to feel. Now, of course, folks, what do you think? I mean, this is going to be all like hatred of men, right? Let me see if I can post it and keep my eye at the same time on this screen. Move things around on monitors. Kate, do you have any predictions for this article?
Let's see. There.
Uh-oh. Your audio messed up.
It did, because it suddenly mutes and then unmutes. But you can hear me now?
I can.
Okay. So yeah, I think that my prediction would be that she's totally miserable because she bought into the lie of feminism, and she's reached the age of 50 where guys aren't looking at her anymore. And
No.
that is what she built her entire self-worth on, obviously, is guys looking at her, guys wanting her. And so she became addicted to that, and then she can't get it anymore. Like, when
Yeah.
you can't get your drug of choice anymore, then you are going to be depressed and feel like you're invisible and your life is over. And that's why you have to choose wisely.
Yeah. You have these years, especially as a woman, that you have to take advantage of your high sexual market value, and your value elsewhere can grow throughout your life, but sexual market value doesn't grow throughout your life. And anti-whiteism, by way of the subset of feminism, teaches women that, oh, this is power that you need to use. This desire that men will have for you, it's power that you need to use to your advantage to dominate. And of course, that's something completely antithetical to a female, to want to dominate. That's why you have these women who have bought into it, poking me to try to get me to give them attention, because they don't want to dominate. They don't want to have to. A woman dominating is like one of those little yappy dogs on the end of a leash. It doesn't know what to do. It just yaps its head off because it's scared shitless of the world, and it hates having to be in the alpha position that you're allowing it to be in. If you have a little dog, folks, dominate the little dog, and he or she will love you. They will be blissful. A dog will walk around with a smile on his face its whole life. Probably live twice as long, because it doesn't have to have the stress of deciding, are we safe? Are we not safe? You know, etc. It's so true. Ultra Testosterone is here. Great to see you, sir. Says Jason's killing it on Twitter. You know what's funny is Ultra Testosterone has one hell of an edge to him. He's sort of like, he's similar in like the biting way, acerbic way that Kate can be. He comes in, these people, they come and insult me, and then he will fly in to the scene and he will say like everything that hurts them, possibly the worst. And then I laugh, I walk away, I come back a little bit later, and I see the person trying to like make friends with ultra testosterone at that point. I got this picture of this woman. I'll have to, let me see if I can find it right now. Let's see. Because the actual author, you can see the picture of the model they used on that picture. That's no 50-year-old woman. Yeah, that's a good look. That's a good looking younger woman there. And they want to, I guess, show you how insane the guys must be that are suddenly not seeing her. Let's see, is this going to work or no? There she is. That's the actual author.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I would push back on that. She is not invisible. She looks like a demon.
Yeah, she's not invisible, all right. Yeah.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, you know, what's what it is, Kate. People are averting their eyes because they think she's like Medusa. People all over like the coffee shop just turn to stone.
You know, I get it. At 50, I get that your looks are not going to be what they were, but she could try a little bit harder. Like have hair and stuff.
She's buzzed her head off. Well, maybe not the whole head, but
She should, perhaps.
it would probably be less offensive.
It might be an improvement.
She looks mean.
She does.
Let's just be serious. She looks mean. She could do a lot to herself to make herself look a lot more appealing, but she doesn't want to do that. She wants to dominate because her brain has been eaten out of her by anti-whiteism.
And she's like snarling and stuff. Like
that's the photo
swear.
she like. I know. I didn't like find her arrest photo. That's the photo that she gave for like, okay, oh fine, yes, you want me to supply you with a photograph to go along with my article? Okay, here it is.
My God.
I mean, how many folks out there are like, first day at demon school photo is what you share with?
Guys are going to be scared of that. It's
I
not that they're
know.
not attracted to that, even though they're not, but they're really just scared. Everyone is.
They're really scared. Everyone is scared. Children are scared. She doesn't. The next article that'll be, in my 50s, children started running from me. It's the world's fault. It's not that I look like Lucifer. I'm pretty sure that the devil is a female. I mean, let's be serious. Everybody
yeah,
always
obviously.
They're always like he. It ain't no he. It's this lady.
It is. We have located Satan.
We have found Satan. Yes, Satan? White Calling is here. First Last is here. Hey, Mrs. Jess Horst. She says, hey, oh Western kind. Good evening, all. And some white heart emojis. Great to see you, sister. James is here. Morb is here. The whole crew is showing up. Carl is here. The champions. Is that Marlene? And who else do we have here? Great to see everybody, though. Let's get to this article from Satan. Starts off with, I started to have to say hello at the register to get the cashier's attention. Oh, poor thing. Poor thing. So she had to spend 50 some years of life where everybody was just like, how can I help you? How can I hello to you? How are you? You know, as a white guy, never had, not a single day. She started to have to say hello. Come on.
I push back on that. She was not getting a lot of attention, positive attention, before 50, unless she just woke up one day and looked like that. But before, I would like to see a before photo. Is there a before photo included anywhere?
No, I'm afraid only her current 50-something photo.
See, that's unfortunate because we have nothing to compare it to.
Well, you know what I'm doing? I'm gonna go ahead and call BS on this 50-something because I think she's probably immortal, being the devil. And this is just, she's unchanging. This is the way she's been all along. She says, this is it. I thought, I've become invisible. All right. Which, of course, she's also going to blame on white men. Because whenever a feminist says men, she just means white men. She would never say anything negative about a non-white man. Are you kidding me? Okay. I didn't notice at first. That's too small for me to even see, for the love of God. I didn't notice at first. It's hard to sense the lack of a thing. Like when you don't realize your headache is gone until an hour after it starts to recede. She doesn't realize that the headaches are gone because it's the headaches she's giving everybody else.
Well, does she realize her hair is gone? Because that's what's important here.
Yeah, she's gone ahead and just buzzed it all off. Doesn't understand why she's not getting hit on. And see, that's the thing too. I mean, this is all about being hit on. It's not just about people saying hello. And if she's in an area, but I mean, in Virginia here, everybody used to be polite. And then the world moved into Northern Virginia, and now no one is polite. They brought their customs and their ways from wherever they came. People always wave. You wave going down the road. If somebody tells you there's police ahead and they have the radar out, they do the lights and they wave and you wave. People want to get in front of you. You wave. They wave. They thank you for letting me in. That doesn't happen here anymore. So maybe the area she lives in has just become too anti-white. That's another thing, Kate, is they're probably looking at her and they're like, white bitch.
Well,
Up until now, they were giving her a pass because she was helping them destroy Western civilization. Now they're like, we don't need you white females anymore.
Well, perhaps they're just anti-Satan.
They're anti-Satan. Maybe in this article, she mentions that somebody held up a cross. Now people are making the sign of the cross when I walk by. All right. It's not like I'd ever been a head turner. No shit.
Oh.
Reasonably attractive to the blind. I've never stood out in the way that make people either excited or uncomfortable. But I was pleasing enough and pleasant enough that I'd gather grins and glances. Oh, so
Really?
So her value from that. She was getting value from that.
I am fascinated.
You're fascinated. If she wanted that to continue, she shouldn't have been anti-white. Men were nice to me, but now, after a lifetime of treating them like shit, they don't want anything to do with me. But this is really actually an interesting thing, isn't it? She's finding her value, a feminist, anti-white, finding her value in the men. And it would be white men that are giving her attention or not. And wait a second, something else that's interesting. Is she talking about men who are also in their 50s? Or is she trying to or does she think she deserves the attention of men in their 20s or 30s or 40s?
See, yeah, that's a good question.
This is the entitlement that just, continues with life. She'll be 90 and be bitching about this. None of the 20-year-olds will bed me down now.
Oh, gross.
I know. They would puke. There are other parts of the world where she could go and still get bed down at 90, but
Really?
not many of us, no.
Oh, dear God.
But somewhere in my early 50s, people just stopped noticing me. I started to have to say hello at the register. Okay, that's what it was at the beginning. Hello at the register to get the cashier's attention. As I repeated my coffee order, I could see their eyes moving past me, lighting on younger, bolder, more interesting people. Well, this is it, I thought. I've become invisible. I used to be visible. The attention I got from men ranged from horror ranged from horror and screeches of God save me, appreciative smiles to flirting to catcalls that
From
often,
who?
yeah, I know. Come on. Catcalls?
Nonsense. I call nonsense.
Yeah, I know. That's some Bravo Sierra
Receipts
right
or it
there.
didn't happen.
Yeah. Come on, Satan. Come on. Come- They were giving you catcalls? So some guys catcalls that often turn to anger when I didn't react the way they wanted. What? This is
What?
just, yeah,
Things that never happened for
yeah,
500, Alex.
exactly. It could be nice until it wasn't. And it was
Mm.
tricky to see the line until it had been crossed.
Oh my.
I know. And see, that's the thing too about this anti-whiteism called feminism, that the female gets to decide which guy's attention that she accepts. So that's the way it is. But you can't say that the attention you're getting from guys you don't want attention from, that they are repugnant or boorish or immoral, that they need to be censored, that they need to be called in from their scaffolding and berated by their foreman because he wasn't good looking enough to be whistling at Satan as she walked by. He
I
wasn't
would
good looking enough. He wasn't
argue
like Fabio, like with muscles rippling and flannel like unbuttoned halfway down the front of his chest. No, he was like a regular guy, and Satan didn't want to hear the whistle from him. How
right.
much do you want to bet? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I would encourage her and anyone who looks like her to keep an open mind and don't don't take anyone off the table because your options are really more limited than you think.
Your options are limited.
Like way limited. Like should hang out by the school for the blind limited.
Yeah. Some guys, the she should hang out at like the burn unit at the hospital and like try to appeal to the like soldiers coming back with like 90% of their body scorched from combat.
Oh, I thought you meant she should hang out at the burn unit all wrapped up so they couldn't
Oh,
see her.
well, that could work too for her.
I think that would be a good strategy, I'm gonna be honest.
Some guys flirted and it felt sweet and sexy and fun. Again, when it's the guys that
Oh
she wants
my.
to, yeah. Others just gave me the creeps. Those are the ones that she called their bosses on, got them fired. The same behavior from different men could feel very different, which made navigating these encounters tricky. Constant vigilance is exhausting. It was so hard on her. Let me tell you. Yeah, that's what happens for 90% of men. It's so exhausting because everywhere we go, women are just throwing themselves at us and we just don't know what to do. We're always having to decide, is this one crossing the line? Is that one Satan? Is this one going to like cut up all my clothes while I'm sleeping? Bitches are crazy. That's what it's like. I mean, so she actually is trying to act like it's difficult in life to have all of these options when it comes to pairing. That's what's
Well,
tough.
and she wants you to believe that she has options. This is actually not a problem that she's ever had. I
She's read a
really
lot of
think that
romance
this is
novels.
fiction. Yeah, this is fiction, which
She's
is
read a lot of
okay.
romance novels. It's going to be like, and then Fabio, I mean, whatever his name was, pulled me up on the rope up the scaffolding, took me into a closet. Okay, so, and sometimes I just didn't want to be bothered. I wanted to go about my business without being seized up by entitled men. God, this is such a disgusting. I'm glad she's suffering. She has gone through life spreading anti-whiteism. And look at how fickle this bitch is. She can't even get through 2 paragraphs without doing 3 180s. 4 180s, I'm sorry. 4 180s. How can you? No wonder she finds it hard to navigate. She has no idea what's up or down. She couldn't find her ass for a hole in the ground. Okay, without being sized up by entitled men who act as if you've been placed on earth to please them and that you should be
Nobody thought that.
grateful. No, about her. No one thought that. You're right,
No
Kate.
one thought that.
No one did.
She's mistaken. This is
Yeah,
all just a big misunderstanding.
unless some of these guys, they saw her, and especially if they were south of the border and they recognized one of the demons that the witch doctors, pulls out of the people's stomachs and exercises from the villager. That's what they're screaming and shouting about. She took that for flirting.
Oh, that's sad. That's a sad story.
Okay, and that you should be grateful when they deign to notice you. Google women 50 and invisible, and you'll get two kinds of results. The first will tell you that, yes, it's true. Women stop being noticed in middle age. You're well beyond not being noticed. The next will give you all kinds of advice for beating the odds by staying relevant. To whom? For the love of God. I mean,
Wow.
seriously, look at this. It's like, wee, 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 wee.
Wow.
Not surprisingly, that means staying relevant to men, the arbiters of power and bestowers of good fortune. So there you go to the anti-white narrative. And of course, when she says men, she means white men, not non-white men. Let's just be clear. But here she's saying that she enjoys it. She is the creator of any scenario where pleasure is derived by the attention of men, but she wants to blame men for deriving pleasure of the attention of men. Are you joking? I mean, she's insane. They shouldn't be allowed to be the arbiters and bestowers of good fortune. Well, then stop taking pleasure in whether or not you are flirted with or said hello to. It's your fault. I grew up with casual sexism. Okay, here we go. Anti-whiteism
Oh
right there.
my.
As well as all those other isms. I learned early on that I was expected to smile, whatever. And this is, I'm the victim. I'm expected to smile and prevaricate and laugh along with misogynistic jokes, whatever. My intrinsic pleasure fought with my inner rebel. I twinkled. I raged. Okay. Yeah, well, at least she's able to see that she's a fucking mess. She's all over the place. I wanted the male gaze. I wanted the male gaze. And I hated it. Can you believe this? This is actually, this fits so perfectly in talking about these anti-white girls coming on to me. I wanted the male gaze and I hated it. So that was the male gaze was the genes saying, hey, you should do what's natural. You should submit. But then she's been taught to hate the white race, hate men, destroy Western civilization. So she has this giant conflict. Are we wondering at all now? Are we confused at all now why so many women have like houses full of dead animals that they've been babying?
Don't listen to that squirrel.
Don't listen to the squirrel, exactly. Kate has a thing with squirrels, folks. He's a messed up squirrel.
He really is. He's on 3 different kinds of mood-altering medication.
I hated it. I was ready for love. My stomach just turned because this lady, where'd my mouse go? She wrote this. I was ready for love. No, I should read it how she probably talks. I was ready for love.
Oh my gosh.
Ready for sex. And I wanted boys to notice me. Oh my God. She wanted boys to notice her. Okay, but in order to be seen, I had to run the gauntlet of male cruelty. This is life. This is life. Some guys are going to like you. Not many. And most won't. That's how it works. I've been She said, I've been busty since age 16. Healthy set of lungs. I'm getting sick.
Oh, gosh.
Said Paul, I like your shirt, especially the front, said Blaine. Come on, nobody named Paul or Blaine ever talked to you. That's from the romance novels. Jokes about my period, comments about my body, the razor thin line to walk between being a prude and a slut. Honestly, well, just don't sleep around with everybody.
And that was never an option for her. Look at that picture.
Honestly, I wouldn't wish female adolescence on anyone. Actually, that's a lie. There are a lot of men who would benefit from being forced into a Freaky Friday situation with a teenage girl. I tell you what, every single man on earth would love to have the roles sort of reversed, so that it was women pursuing and women were attracted to as wide a range of men as men are attracted to as wide a range of women. Women have this very narrow focus on what they're attracted to. Men have this very wide range. If we could go through the world with girls everywhere we go checking us out, we would love that. Happily, we'll take you up on that. I remember sitting in my freshman dorm with the guy who would become my first serious boyfriend. We were listening to music, my music. Lou Reed came on, and my soon-to-be paramour asked, "Do you know who this is?" And did I answer then, as I would now? Quote, yeah, I made this tape. I did not. I paused, shy, and suddenly worried that Walk on the Wild Side might indeed be sung by someone I couldn't identify. Oh my, this is ridiculous. The world that anti-whites live in. I'm so oppressed. At 19, I was constantly second-guessing myself, worrying about the way I was perceived. And that's the black beating heart of it. These boys could tank my self-confidence with a word. That's your fault, Satan. That is
Well,
your fault.
in fairness, if I looked like that, I would worry about how I was perceived as well. I think that is a fair concern. I'm just saying.
First Last accurately says here that was her first and only boyfriend. That's when she finally actually moved away from the elephant man, and they had to go different directions. How did they do it? You, dum-dum. They seemed endowed by their creator with a sense of self-assurance that I couldn't muster. Okay, so we just got down to the brass tacks of it. She was after guys that were out of her league. Thank you. Check, please. Shut up, bitch. There's the door. After guys that were out of her league, like 99% of women in the West. Spending all these years. So she could have found at 19, I guarantee you, she's no tussy mussy, but at 19, I'm sure that there were guys who were actually on her level, like Mr. Satan's. And she could have actually found a guy that was a good guy, who would have treated her good, who wouldn't have cheated on her, who would have thought the world about being able to have a relationship with her. He would have valued the relationship. But no, she was after the guys who had so much confidence. How does a guy get so much confidence? Well, when he's part of that, like 10 to at max like 15% part of guys out there who get all female attention. That's the kind of guys that she was after. They have total confidence because everywhere they go, every woman is throwing themselves at their feet. So we now see what went wrong. And now what she wants to do, she wants to blame all white men for her decisions. How typical of a female. All right. Where was I? Tank my confidence. They seemed endowed by the creator with a sense of self-assurance that I couldn't muster. She couldn't muster it. What a surprise. That must be what it is to walk on the earth as a man. Oh my God. You mean as the 10% of guys that you had no business trying to hit on? By the way, it's after midnight. We gonna let it all hang out. It's so exhausting to be a woman in the world. Oh, it's so hard. It can still be scary, still requires vigilance, but I no longer, Satan has many voices, but I no longer feel that I'm being constantly evaluated, and it's a huge relief. Trust me, you are still being evaluated for threat, especially to mothers with children. I I have I have so much more space in my head. She's got a lot of space. It's been empty the whole time. Other people, how does this woman keep stepping in it? For God's sake. Other people's opinions have become less important over time. In general, other people's opinions have become less important. But when you're not being watched, you've got a little more space in which to observe. And what I
Oh
saw
no.
was, she's observing now. Come on. She's always been a voyeur. And what I saw was an enormous number of people whose opinions don't matter in the least. Well, of course, now they don't matter because they're not all the guys. So now let's take a step back. All the guys that were like maybe looking at her, maybe smiling, those were the ones that she really didn't want. Those were the ones that, maybe like, like a baby sometime will smile when it passes gas. Maybe that was happening with some of the men that smiled at her. But but other times that was sort of it's like a defensive mechanism for some guys when Satan is around. But the other times she was just ignoring the guys that actually were on her level. Peer pair, as First Last likes to put it. So
Well,
here's what I've learned.
in fairness, those were probably not very attractive men.
Well, I mean, no, I'm sure that they were. I'm sure that they were less than model quality. I'm sure that they looked like a bunch of Mexican kids with ugly sticks went at their heads as though it was a piñata. But maybe
you're
me too.
right. You have to be realistic about your options.
You have to. And she was not. This is a real lesson. Because ladies out there, you'll grow up to be like Satan here. You'll buzz off all your hair, and then you'll blame everybody else for problems you created. Let's see. Here's what I learned. People who love you think you're beautiful. Oh, okay. So she's talking about pets now. Pets that can't escape, that are kept in the yard with one of those shock collars, and they can only get their food from her. She says, they care about your feelings. They're interested in what you have to say. Those who ignore me don't matter to me. The opinions don't count. That's how you should have been feeling your whole life. I decided if I'm relevant or interesting or valuable. I decide if I'm relevant or interesting or valuable, not them. This is like the affirmations she reads to herself in the morning in the mirror to try to overcome her self-hate and low value. What was that from Saturday Night Live? What was that skit?
Oh.
Where it was like that they did the affirmation, did the Stuart Smalley or something like that?
I believe so. I've seen clips of that. And don't they say, I'm good enough, I'm smart
Yes.
enough,
Yes.
and doggone it, people like me.
That is what Satan here is actually saying. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and God darn it, people like me. Stuart Smalley, Azimuth Clark comes in. Thank you, good brother. Okay. So that was her Stuart Smalley moment. Who knew that Satan was such a fan? So I'm embracing middle age. No, honey, you're old. With its pains and surprises. Do I wish I looked the way I did at 30? Why did she choose 30, by the way?
I
What
yeah.
happened between like upper teenage years and 30 that made her
I
not
don't
choose that
know, but there must have been a tragic incident after 30.
after 30? Oh, I was thinking
I
before
if
30,
she
maybe she
well, if she chose 30 to be the age that she wishes that she looked like, then it must have been, like, 31 when something dreadful happened.
something worse. Something that whatever happened made her, let's see, whatever happened made her this at 31.
Wow.
I started
That is
taking
sad.
I started taking androtestosterone. I was thinking that maybe she chose 30 because between like 17 and 29, she was in some sort of a demonic cocoon and she finally clawed her way out of it. Okay. So she says, well, sure, I'm human, but it doesn't torment me. It's the mirror I want to please, not the marketplace. That's another Stuart Smalley moment. A few years ago, I bought my, wait, she reproduced? Maybe she adopted. I bought my teenage daughters, oh boy, I bet they're healthy,
Oh,
t-shirts that say, quote, women don't owe you shit, close quote. Yeah, she's raised them to live the exact same life she has.
wow.
It's everything I wanted to tell the world when I was 17, only the world didn't want to hear that from me. Now, that is what's a crock of shit. She wanted the guys who were very pretty to take attention in her and date her and have her. And they said, no, they don't want to get turned to stone or whatever else they thought they might catch from her. At 57, she says now, 57.
Oh my.
I have simply ceased to care. No, because she wouldn't have written this article.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a little disappointment. Boy, she is so back and forth. As I have to say, as a man, this is super painful. You just choose a direction and go that direction.
Oh, that's not the way the female mind works.
No?
No, sir. We don't we're not good with linear directions. We tend to go, like, more circular.
Yeah, that's what this thing is doing here. It's the little dog on the end of the leash doing circles, chasing invisible bumblebees. That's what the female mind is. Little disappointed. No, okay, she says, there's a little disappointment to feeling like I'm no longer interesting. But no, you're very interesting to like
Oh,
demonologists
she's
and exorcists.
fascinating.
But on balance, it's just such a relief to walk down the street carelessly. No one believes this. I'm not braced for unwanted attention. No one invades my personal space. No
Oh
one has
god,
told me. No one invades her personal space. No one ever
that's
did.
an image I don't need.
Franklin put this bluntly. I hate this bitch, he wrote. It's almost done. No one has told me to smile in at least a decade. Why weren't you smiling? What was the issue? Why were you walking around with a frown on your face all the time?
Because she looked like that.
Yeah, because you look like that. It turns out, final paragraph, it turns out I like flying under the radar. What a lie. There are a lot of other extremely cool women hanging out with me down here, all of us equally invisible. And that, in our self-made ghetto of self-pity and wallow and self-hate, and that at last is a group whose opinions I'm truly interested in. And of course, she's got her fingers crossed because she's lying again. She cares about what a bunch of other women say.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, I totally thought it said send this bitch. It said send us a pitch. I was like, holy God, they actually wrote that? All right. One more time. There's Satan for you. 57-year-old Satan. She wonders why she's having a hard time. This was a real examination of the both, I guess, the average female mind and but more specifically the anti-white female mind, because you could see this hatred of Western civilization, this hatred of men, because she couldn't have the men she wanted. You're really seeing the root of anti-whiteism, the jealousy and envy that I talk about in Go Free, that overtakes people, and instead of learning and growing from it, I mean, here she is, almost a 60-year-old. She's really a 60-year-old, and she still has not come to terms with what she cannot be and cannot have. She's still one sentence after the next, paragraph within paragraphs, turning 180s. It's great to be seen. I don't care. It's wonderful to have these men want me. I'm happier in this group where there are no men. I mean, let's be serious. She's unhinged, for the love of God.
Well, all females are unhinged, just some less than others. But
Well,
not all of
touche.
us shave our heads like that.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Franklin says she needs to paint rocks. Do something for the. She says, do something for the West, lady. Don't be bitter. I agree. Get good at some. You know, she should realize that anti-whiteism ruined her life. If she would have been raised in a world without anti-whiteism, her family members would have taught her, society would have taught her, that she needs to find a man that is going to be loyal to the family, take care of the family, take care of her, defend her in the family, stand up for her in the family, be a good companion, lead her, give her advice, be able to listen to her recommendations and insights, and then form conclusions and decisions for the family. If they had told her that when she went out in the world, she wouldn't have spent all of her youth and, you know, honestly, whatever her highest sexual market value was, and the flower of her years.
Oh my.
Yeah, she would have been able to go out then and find a quality guy, but instead, she spent that time hitting on men that were too good looking for her, and finding. And this is the other thing, ladies. Like, I just have to say, what this woman here, her actual name is Julia. I never knew that was. Maybe if you do the math, like the alphanumeric thing, it comes out to 666 or something. Who knows? But guys who are out of your league will, when you give them the look, and that's what she's doing. When she's talking about being whistled at, when she's talking about guys catcalling or guys smiling at her, that is because she is out there in the world giving the "you can come talk to me. I hope you come talk to me" look to them. Guys who are way out of your league, ladies, will look back and smile. They might not decide that they're going to give you any time, or they might give you a week and have sex with you and move on, or a month or 2 months and then move on. But so she went out in the world. She was giving guys the smile and the other indicators that she is open to be approached by such men. And they smiled back, and that made her feel good about her. So that made her feel like, I'm going to end up with one of these guys who are an 8, a 9, or a 10. And then she held out for them, didn't she? She held out for them all these years. And now, who knows how she ended up with the 2 daughters. Probably what happened was she got into her 30s or late 30s or 40s, and then decided, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to get married or have any kids much longer. And she hooked up with somebody that was actually a peer pair for her, and had those children that she should or could have had much earlier in life. And then she wouldn't have had this bitter, strained relationship, because the man obviously knows that she held out for these 8, 9s, or 10s which she probably had sex with. And you can hear like that anger in her. So many of these misandrists, these women who hate men, they really hate men because they allowed themselves to be had by guys that were out of their league. And they'll also do this. They'll hold out for a guy who's out of their league. And then sometimes they'll make like these really poor decisions of like, okay, this guy tonight, because I just want somebody to I just want to feel like somebody loves me. And so he'll have sex with me tonight. And then that guy, of course, just wanted to have sex for that night and he moves on. And then they end up like this, bitter, hating the world. And what's happening? She's teaching 2 daughters to live that same life. And our guys out there, they might end up running into these 2 bitches. Who knows? But what are your thoughts, Kate, before we get out of here?
I was just gonna say that I agree with you. Anti-whiteism did ruin her life, but it was anti-whiteism and an electric razor that ruined her life.
Yep. Anti-whiteism and an electric razor. Yeah, why did she shave her head? What's up with that?
See, there are so many questions. I have so many questions here. Like there are just so many unanswered story arcs to this, you know?
Santa Claus says accurately, these 2 girls are 2 future feminists who will rip men's hearts out. Yep.
Well, see, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, where did the children come from? I mean, are we sure these are not missing children? Like, somebody needs to be looking into this. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. Are they on milk cartons somewhere?
Yeah.
Are we going to find out that she had abducted? No, but you know what? Also, a good question is, what happened to the husband? She doesn't mention the husband once, or the
He's
man.
buried somewhere in a yard or something.
He's buried in the yard.
Obviously. Yeah, obviously.
But it's really an interesting thing that she doesn't mention. Maybe it wasn't a husband, but she doesn't mention the father or fathers of her 2 daughters. Not one
Yeah.
word. Not one
Maybe
word.
there's some sort of confidentiality agreement that she signed.
Maybe so. It's really telling because to me it says that she hates the man or men that were willing to actually impregnate her and be with her long enough to do that. She didn't want them. They were probably much closer to her in looks. So they probably look just like her. Same haircut and all.
Terrifying. That entire image is just terrifying. Now I'm not going to sleep.
Now you're going to have Irish Nick is here. Says she got him from an anonymous donor bank. Hyperborean Jim, her bitterness prevents her from being able to teach her daughters from avoiding the mistakes she made. Precisely. She's not going to, no way. No, it's everybody else's fault. So much of the time with women, it's always somebody else's fault. A lot of guys, especially nowadays, modern guys, same thing. But it's just always somebody else's fault. They take no agency. They've got nothing to correct. They're just blown around. They're like a willow in the wisp, blown around by the wind in the world. Here she is in this actual article. She is revealing that she was giving the men around her the power to make her happy. So she was her problem. At no point, though, did she say in that article, it was all my fault. I should have never given these guys who were out of my league the power to make me happy. I should have ignored the men who were out of my league. And that's my recommendation to girls out there, women out there. Ignore the men who are out of your league. I mean, just face reality. You can, if you can't get a proper assessment, and probably no woman can, because it's like every girl never trust. No guys, Kate, no guys ever believe. Like if you say to me, "Oh, my girlfriend's beautiful," I'm going to immediately know she is a giant bloated sea cow, because every woman says that about their friends. So she's not going to be able to go to her friends and say, "Well, where am I on the scale?" They'll all say, "Well, you are just like Kate Moss. You're like runway model. You like whatever." But so females, you might have to do an evaluation on your own, and then you can improve your looks, of course. various ways. But the men who are in the top, I mean, you might as well just take the top 20% of prettiest faced guys and just scratch them out. Forget about it. Because, or not even might as well, you should, because they will be bedding down everybody in town. You don't have any parts that are special. They can find those same naughty bits on every other woman. So this woman did not have somebody that told her that. And she went out and ruined her life. And now she's going to teach her daughters to behave the same way so that they can have ruined lives as well. Welcome to anti-whiteism and how it perpetuates itself. Morb says women never mentor or teach the younger generation. Well, not in a way that's beneficial or helpful to them. I mean, you look at single mother households, for example, and this is just like the general rule where there's nothing to push back against the instinct to baby. And that's really, in my opinion, what I see in women and all of everything that I've shared, my opinion. So you can disagree and go look somewhere else and find an opinion you do like. But in single mother households, you see that the treatment of the children is never for, in my opinion, their good. I'm sure there are exceptions here or there, but the general rule, they'll overfeed the children, they indulge the children, they succor the children, it's endless pampering for the children, and then you have adult children. So it's unlikely that they're ever going to be able to, most women, to change it on their own. And who knows what the father's probably not even allowed to talk, even if he's in the picture. Drog says women can't even open a pickle jar.
So true.
So true.
I can't even reach the top shelf in my kitchen. So.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a sad situation. I get it.
It's a sad situation.
Mm-hmm. And, I would say that obviously she doesn't want to take responsibility for her ruined life. And it is partly her fault. But, it's also the person that was holding the razor is at least 80% responsible for her
Yes.
ruined life.
Yes. Absolutely. Whoever was holding do you go to a beauty salon for a buzz cut?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't
You know
think
what I'm really
anywhere I've
wondering, though?
ever gotten my hair cut would do that for anyone.
No?
I don't
You think
think
they
so.
might call like the mental health people?
I believe so. I think you can get someone committed on that.
Well, she probably, you know what I'm wondering? What would really just frame it perfectly? You can see it here if you imagine for a moment that she has one of those rat tails running down the back,
God.
maybe down to like mid-back.
Oh, wow.
Buzzed
Yeah.
everywhere except for one thin strand of hair all the way down the back.
Honestly, I don't think it would matter. There's just already so much going wrong in that picture that I don't think the rat tail would necessarily be, a step backwards. I'm just saying. So if that's what she wants to do, go for it.
Rat tail it is. Victorian Time Traveler says he lived next door to a single mother, and the kids graffitied his house and cracked his truck's windshield with a pipe wrench. Oh my God.
Good Lord.
First Last says he's going to have wonderful dreams all night long about this woman after seeing her picture. Tomb of Armenia says mommy's boys and then a throwing up emoji. Well, I think that's about it for Twitter Tantrums tonight. We're going to have to spend more time as these women, these anti-white women who are coming on to me, as they do. We'll have to collect more of these and not just laugh to ourselves about them and share them with everybody, because it's hilarious to see how desperate they get, wanting a real man to enter their world. And that's what this woman wanted. She wanted a real man to enter her world. But
So she became one, which is always an option.
So she became one. No real man entered her world, so she just decided to become one. Well, I think on that, we will wrap it up, and we'll be back. I'll be back Sunday, of course. We'll see you all then, and we'll see you sooner than that, Kate. Bye-bye, folks.
Good night.
I want you to reach out in love. I want you to let those brothers and sisters around the base, let them know that even though the anti-whites wield so much power, that we are winning every contest with them, and that it's only a matter of time. Tell them that they can be more than they are. Tell them that they can stand up for Western kind, Western civilization, and everyone who lives in Western civilization of all immutable characteristics. Tell them that there's a way that they can stand up for it in love with the moral high ground. Be gentle with them at first. Coming out of a story that you thought was the real world is one of the hardest things that folks can do. If you go there with a true spirit and a true heart, with humility, you're going to win more souls than you'll ever turn away. And in the end, all of that will redound to the glory of our people and the reclamation of our destiny.